Now, what is a polycystic ovarian syndrome? It is a complex disorder characterized by excessive androgen production by the ovaries and adrenals, which interfere with the growth of ovarian follicles, and it has got a incidence around 4% in the Indian woman. The incidence is rising these days. Now, what are these cysts actually? See, normal ovary has got a primordial follicle which grows to form the primary follicle, which goes secondary follicle, which matures, which ovulates, which forms a corpus luteum, and then atresia happens with the corpus albicans. In a polycystic ovaries, the primordial follicles grows up to primary follicle, it becomes a secondary follicle with an antrum, but after that it never grows, never becomes dominant, and it just stays. So these are multiple immature follicles studding the cortex of the ovary, and so it is also called as a pearl necklace appearance in ultrasound. Now there are so many criteria came over a period of time from 1990, 2003 and 2009. So they tried to define the polycystic ovaries. So when the NIH 1990 criteria, they have told hyperandrogenism, oligoanovulation or anovulation, and polycystic ovaries was actually not required. It may be there, but it may not be there also. But if the lady's androgen levels were high and she was not ovulating properly, they called it as PCOD. In the Rotterdam's criteria, they told any two of these three is okay. So if we have hyperandrogenism with oligoovulation or with polycystic appearing ovaries in ultrasound, so any two of these three should be considered as diagnostic criteria for polycystic ovarian syndrome. Then in 2009, the Committee for Androgen Access said that hyperandrogenism is a mandatory criteria. So hyperandrogenism can be clinical or biochemical. Clinical means just the symptoms of increased androgens like acne or hirsutism or androgenic alopecia or male pattern baldness. Biochemical hyperandrogenism as evidenced by elevated serum free and total testosterone or available testosterone. So these were the biochemical criteria. So this was a mandatory criteria, and this may or may not be present with either one or two of the remaining criteria, and this is called as a Androgen Access and PCOS Society criteria. PCOD is a problem which can present in the childhood, adolescent period, reproductive period, and in the postmenopausal period. So in the children it presents as premature adrenarche. In adolescent period it will usually manifest as menstrual irregularities. In the reproductive life it manifests as menstrual irregularities, infertility, acne and hirsutism and hyperandrogenemia. And in the postmenopausal period it can present as hyperestrogenemia leading to endometrial cancers. It can have reproductive problems, endocrine problems and cardiometabolic problems. The cardiometabolic problems of PCOD are mostly in the postmenopausal age group, which include impaired GTT, type 2 diabetes, gestational diabetes, dyslipidemia, hypertension, NASH, that is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, cardiovascular diseases. Coming to the pathophysiology of polycystic ovaries, so we all know that there is a hypothalamo-pituitary ovarian axis. So what is happening is that there is FSH and LH secretion from the anterior lobe of pituitary, and somehow because of the altered GnRH pulse frequency and amplitude, there is an increase in the LH to FSH ratio. So the pulse frequency of GnRH becomes more favorable to LH, so leading to increased LH and FSH ratio. So if there is an increased LH ratio, LH acts upon the theca cells to secrete androgen, so androgen amounts become more. Then if there is an increase, what the androgens mainly secreted is the dehydroepiandrostenedione, which is coming from the adrenal. So adrenal androgens and ovarian androgens both lead to hyperandrogenemia, and this hyperandrogenemia perpetuates this cycle of preferential LH secretion. Now there are other things in our body which are perpetuating this hyperandrogenism. So the other things is the adipose tissue. So this adipose tissue secretes adipocytokines and which promote insulin resistance because of the genetic, environmental, obesity, adipocyte dysfunctioning, and it also This insulin resistance acts upon the pancreas to increase the insulin levels.